Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to our newcomers. We are very happy to see you, and we have been expecting you. Thank you for your patience in putting up with the relatively late hour. It is all for the better. Today we would like to discuss being true to yourselves in these ascending times. And we do mean something fairly specific about this, which we'll get to in a moment. We will preface that discussion with a brief review of the energies that are coming into the planet and have been for a very long time now. The energies, the ascension energies, the transformative energies flowing into this planet and into you are now ceaseless, they're continual, and each new influx of energy, each new shift in energy is having the effect on most light workers and on higher vibrational people of peeling away karmic layers, peeling away lower vibrational, third-dimensional layers of reality from your being. Now, when we say peeling away, it's not something that happens all by itself. There is a certain degree of participation and awareness by you in this process. We have spoken many times of the necessity of releasing lower vibration so that you, the vessel that you are, the light worker that you are, may receive and assimilate these highest vibrations coming in, and so you may rise in vibration, frequency, and consciousness, eventually to ascend. We will tell you right now that everyone in the room is a light worker. For those who may not be aware of this term, very briefly, a light worker is someone who purposely took rebirth in this lifetime to participate in the ascension process of the planet and in some way or other to lead the way in that process, to create the causes, to create the energy, to hold the energy, to invite this whole process as representatives of humanity. This is a free will planet, so a certain percentage of humanity is required to attend and participate in this process, even to get it going. So, as new energy comes into you, it comes into your soul star chakra. We spoke of this last week. This is your first transpersonal chakra above your crown chakra, usually anywhere from 6 inches to a couple of feet above your crown chakra. Usually it's closer, closer to 6 inches than a couple of feet. The purpose of this chakra is to receive these higher divine ascension energies and to release them into your crown chakra, and then through your crown chakra down through all your other chakras, all your energy channels, through every aspect of your being. We discussed last week how it's really necessary, or at least very useful we gave you a meditation and practice to accomplish this that was fairly simple. That it's very helpful to consciously every day for a while activate and open your soul star chakra and release those energies down into your being. This is necessary until your soul star chakra is doing this on its own. Not only for the obvious reason of you absorbing and assimilating these energies, but there's a secondary reason that if this chakra is not, shall we say, emptied into your being, imbalance will begin to occur. It's a little bit like an hourglass or a funnel, and so energies tend to collect at this point right now. They tend to collect in this chakra because in most light workers it's not fully functioning yet, so it needs to consciously be activated and opened, and then you need to consciously draw these energies down or intend that they be released into your crown chakra and down through your whole being. And we won't go into the whole practice. There's other aspects to it. That's the most important one right now. So, as these new energies come in, with each new influx of energy, with each shift of energy, as we said, there's an effect of peeling away a karmic layer, or there are many ways to put this. That's an analogy, not to be taken literally. Another way of putting it is it will bring to the surface third dimensional or karmic aspects of you, issues, and these will usually be issues and aspects of your being that no longer serve you. Your rising vibration is no longer resonates or fits with these lower vibrational energies that are coming up. So it's very important to be aware of what's coming up on a day-to-day basis. And it's very important as these things come up that you examine who, what, and where you are as a light worker, and make a decision on what to do, whether to let it go or stay with it. We mentioned being true to yourself in these ascending energies. What we mean by that, by being true to yourself, is being true to your mission, to your purpose as a light worker. It's not necessary that you know specifically what your individual missions are. That will become clear eventually as you rise in vibration and in awareness, as you clear lower vibrational energies. What is necessary for those who wish to proceed on this path is that with each thing that arises for you, whether it be an issue or simply moving into your mind or awareness as something that may no longer serve. So it's very important that as this happens, that you be very aware and you make conscious examination, conscious decision about letting these things go or not. It's up to you, and moving on. This is a process that will be necessary on a very regular basis, because as you release, as you make a decision to let go of that which no longer serves, which could look like anything. It could be relationships. It could be an attitude. It can be a fear. It can be anything. As you make your decisions as divine creator to release these things or put them aside or move on, your frequency, your vibration, your consciousness will rise. New energy influxes and shifts will begin taking place, and more will come up. So each time there's an energy influx and you go through this process, you are a different person. What you examined on Monday may be quite different than the you that you examine on Wednesday or next week. The speed of these transformative energies coming in and the speed of and intensity of the changes they are rendering is profound. Something else we've discussed many times is the power of intent. And this is key to moving beyond that which no longer serves. As you make a decision, whether it be a tiny one or what you consider to be a major one, even if you don't know how to implement what you're deciding, state your intent as a divine being, state it within your own consciousness, state it to us, your ascended guides, state it to the universe, state it to the divine. As divine creators, when you state an intent and declare that it is so, the creative energy, the creative power of that intent goes into higher dimensions, goes into the universe, and there we promise you it manifests into form, into result. Most of you still do not understand or really accept what powerful creators you are. Humans have always created their own reality. That process now is exponentially greater than it's ever been before. Some of you may be discovering this. If you stay in fear of something for a little while, it will manifest rapidly. If you stay in intent to create something or to achieve something and stay in that intent even for a short time, it will manifest. So as we've said so often, mindfulness is important in this whole process. Being aware of what your mind and emotions are doing and understanding that they're just energy and you have power over them. We would like to take a few moments and discuss the medium's sister, who has very recently passed on. We have his permission to use her as an example of a light worker. We have spoken many times in the past of how these rapidly changing times, these times where there's now a multi-dimensional energy matrix on the planet, where the fifth dimensional energy matrix is now in actual existence. where the exponentially ever increasing higher vibration and frequency of this planet is bringing about so many changes for the better. We've talked about how lower vibrational beings, those who decide to entrench themselves still further in old third dimensional beliefs, often of blame and anger and things like patriotism and energies that engender separation. If you look at the planet, you will notice higher and lower vibrations are achieving an ever sharper degree of polarity. They're pulling further and further apart. At some point, the lower vibrational entities and beings will either change and rise in vibration, or they will leave. And so many people are moving on. The lower vibrational people who simply cannot tolerate the higher vibrations on the planet are being very carefully and lovingly ushered to a new planet that is in keeping with their current vibration, and there they will receive all the help they will need to continue their process of ascension and awakening. They will be very well taken care of. To a lesser degree, there are also higher vibrational light workers who reach a point where their higher selves and they make a decision that they have completed their mission on Earth, and they will now move into spirit form, into a higher vibration, to continue their mission and to continue their path to ascension. So this is the case with Kathleen Berry, the medium's sister. This is a very high vibrational light worker who, like so many high vibrational people, did not even think of herself in these terms. This was a being who existed in a state of absolute love for others. Her default position, if you will, was unconditional love and all the energies that flow from that. Generosity, kindness, helping others. She had a dual mission. Her mission was twofold as a human on Earth. One was to be an example of unconditional love simply by being that. A mission at which she was very profoundly successful. She also had a mission to seriously begin the process of reconnecting the consciousness of the animal realm with the consciousness of the human realm. When humanity nosedived into deep third dimensional existence and began creating this third dimensional holographic projection that you consider reality, separation also, or the functioning in separation on this dimension, occurred, of course, between humans and everything else. The plant kingdom, the consciousness of Mother Earth, the consciousness of the animal realms. Part of the process of the ascension of this planet are all of these realms coming back together to function as one. And there are light workers and bodhisattvas who have taken rebirth both in the human and animal realms to begin this process in earnest. And this is how she functioned when she was here as a human. This is a being who was relatively young, who had no significant health problems. She came home from a group meditation she participated in, fed her cats, lay down on the sofa, put in a movie, went to sleep, and left. For those of you who know her, know that this was a decision that she made. This was not something that her everyday mind was aware of, but her higher self and her higher awarenesses, her subconscious, have been planning this for a while. Know that through this whole process, we have been with her the entire way. Of course, the medium joined her in the process. So know that she had the help and participation and guidance and force and power of ascended beings all around her all the time. She has now moved into a place where she is greeting spirit beings who also do the work she is doing. These are beings she has known in past lives. Many of them are spirit beings of very high vibration who knew her in native cultures, Native American, Inuit, Australians, native peoples. So there is much recognition and much joy and camaraderie and happiness in being together again. And once she has sufficiently adjusted and settled into her new way of being and worked with us some, she will begin her new mission. It's not a new mission, really. She will begin addressing her mission in a new way as a higher vibrational spirit being who works at a higher vibration, mending the rifts and pulling together the energies and consciousness of the animal and human realms. So you see, there's no telling about people. There are many high vibrational beings who've never heard of light workers, and they are here performing very important functions. One thing they all have in common is a very high frequency, a predominance of the energies of unconditional love and generosity. So we tell you this story not only to give you a concrete idea of these various issues involved, but also as a way of demonstrating and saying to you, all of you have a mission. Each one of you, each light worker, whether you know you're a light worker or not, has a purpose and a specific role to play. You have a general role to play as a light worker, which we've discussed many, many times, of holding the light and ascending to create the space, the vibration, the karma for the rest of humanity to follow. But each of you also have a more specific mission and purpose. It's not necessary that you know at this time what that is. As we said, you will become aware of it as you let go of that which no longer serves, as you hold consistently, ceaselessly, the intent in your heart and mind and being to be of benefit and to ascend and to be of service to humankind. Your consciousness will rise to the point where you will simply begin to know. Now we know that there will be a few who on hearing this message will, because this is part of what humans do, they may worry a little bit. Oh no, am I going to be moving on? The answer is probably no. Understand that very few light workers are ready. Very few light workers have sufficiently high vibration to make this transformation at this time. That's a very, very gross generalization, of course. We're just mentioning it because we don't want anyone to start worrying about these things. Of course, if it does happen, it will absolutely be for the best, and it will be an indescribably joyful experience. So that is our message for today. We will take questions, but we will ask just this once. We do not usually place restrictions, but we will ask just this once that your questions have something to do with the subject at hand that we've discussed today in some way. Does anyone have questions?
Can I ask, how does one get in touch with their ascended master or masters? How does one is there a meditation or a process to open that channel?
Nothing specific. Basically, the best way to do it is to sit in meditation and just call us. Being a light worker means a lot of things. It means you're of high enough vibration to have attracted our attention and to have consciously incarnated in this lifetime to perform this function. It means that you have past lives of connection with ascended forces, ascended masters and angels. So if you are in this room, or if you have the karma to hear this recording, then you have the capacity to do this, which is simply to sit down in meditation and call us. We will be there. You may call us by individual names if you wish, if there are certain ascended masters with whom you feel you are connected, or you may just call ascended masters and angels. There are things you can do to help the connection and help you at some point actually become aware of the connection. Something that many do is to call us forward above the crown of their heads, above your crown chakra, and visualize this as incredibly, impossibly brilliant, radiant, divine light, and have an awareness, a feeling of the absolute unconditional love that this energy entails, and then pull this energy down into your being, all aspects of your being, and merge with it. Merge with us. Merge with the energy and the truth of the divine. And know that this is truth. We are one. It doesn't matter if you don't feel anything, if you don't sense anything. Eventually you will. Simply have the intent, go through the process, and trust. Trust we are with you. We are with you, all of you, always. The reason there is not an ongoing working connection for some of you is simply because you've not consciously made the connection. It's a two-way street, of course, because you're free will beings. So, although some help has always been, not always, some in past lives, once you reached a sufficient vibration to attract our attention, once you developed a certain amount of compassionate intent, we have been with you ever since then, however many lifetimes ago that was. And we've been able to help you and guide you, regardless of your awareness or lack of awareness of our connection. But this relationship can be exponentially more powerful with your intent that it be so, with you asking, with you pulling us in.
Is there a way to differentiate or identify energies that are coming in to our being? And knowing that all energies, I don't know how to word this, are good energy?
It's kind of a multifaceted question. So let's begin by saying that for those of you who are just beginning this process of inviting our energies in and connecting, each and every time you do this, we suggest that you declare the intent, you declare it as so, that only the highest divine energies will be connecting with you. You will reach a point, of course, where this is no longer necessary because your connection will be consistent, profound, and lower vibrational energies will not even be able to come to you. However, understand this is radically different for each person. There are people who are light workers, who are high vibrational beings, who still have, all of you have cleaned up most of your karma, but there's still a lot left. So some people, some light workers, have still have energies that resonate with, say, mid-level spirit beings. And when one has this kind of resonance, there tends to be an attraction. So there's a possibility that these kind of mid-level beings, spirit beings, in other words, beings who are not ascended, who are still on a path and still dealing with stuff, there's a possibility of attracting these. Indeed, there are channels today, and have been for a long time, who channel mid-level beings. Sometimes these beings masquerade as ascended masters. Now, this is not an issue that most of you even need to be concerned about. But once in a while, there is a light worker who has issues with this. Some karma, some vibration created most often in a past life is still there. And that resonance attracts energy and even beings, spirit beings of a similar resonance. This is nothing to be afraid of. These beings are not malevolent, they're not harmful, they're simply seeking. And their propensity is to seek beings of similar vibration, especially one that is holding such incredible light. So we repeat, this is not something to really be concerned about. The way to take care of it, which we would suggest to all of those who are in the beginning stages of connecting with us, with your ascended guides in a conscious way, before each meditation, or whenever you feel like it, simply declare absolutely from your divine I Am presence, only the highest divine energies and ascended beings will come to me. If you would like some help in this to make you feel better about it and more effective, call in Archangel Michael or your favorite ascended master. And as most of you know, one of Archangel Michael's functions and purposes is protection. So you may do this also. Now, once that issue is passed, being able to discern energies of various ascended masters and angels and that sort of thing is really not too important. The reason is because we exist in a dimension and a level of consciousness or awareness, of course, that's ascended. So we function as one. So when you call one of us, when you call one ascended master or angel, you call us all.
Is it okay to call on them every day, or are they busy?
Oh yes, yes, please. Yes, we ask you to do this every day, as often as you like every day.
They're multitasking people, aren't beings?
Sorry?
Multitasking beings, the ascended masters, angels.
Well, yes, that's an interesting way of putting it, but yes, we exist. Understand, we, ascended masters, are an aspect of fully ascended beings, for the most part, who exist beyond space, time. We have the capacity to manifest in myriad ways, in as many ways as we like, in as many times as we like, in as many forms as we like, simultaneously. So please do call us. There's no issue you're facing that is not worthy of our attention. Sometimes light workers who are just beginning this process think, oh, well, having my car repaired isn't really worth Ascended Master's time. But of course it is. Everything's the path. Getting through a breakup with your significant other, paying the mortgage, paying the rent, paying the bills, healing yourself on any level, getting through difficult emotional times, releasing anything. Anything you can think of is the path. No part of your path is any more or less deserving of our attention than another. It's all the same thing. Are there any more questions?
Yes. Is there anything more specific I have to hear?
Well, it would not hurt for you to have a reading at some point, because there's actually the answer to your question is yes, a lot. So we'll tell you right now. You don't really know what you are yet. That's not a criticism. You have no idea of your own glory, your own divine nature, your own creative power. And know that each day, whether you're aware of it or not, we uphold your divine aspect and treasure it. And it is our wish that you will come to do the same.
I just want to say something. I think this is the most informative session I've ever sat in. Maybe I don't always pay attention, and maybe I paid attention more today than other times, but so much seemed to make sense. Thank you.
You're very welcome. That's wonderful. We love it when we make sense. Are there any more questions? Very well. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being what you are.